You specifically said you'd be against foreign intervention and nation building. Why have you switched positions? Well, I'm generally against it, but there are some instances where I'd be okay with it. It's pretty simple. If we can get enough money out of the place that we're intervening in and we can effectively make it worthwhile for us, then I'd be okay with it. And even if it costs civilian lives, yeah, who gives a shit? If you're going to do this stuff, people are going to get killed. That's what's going to happen. Of course.
Our favorite man who never leaves the house, Asmongold.
Oh, garbage man.
A lot of people DM'd me with our last video that we had in regards to Asmongold. And I don't hate, but listen, I don't know what I think about the dude. I know that there was a time where I really enjoyed some of this stuff, and there's plenty of reasons why, but I think he still advocates for a lot of ideas that I like, for being someone who spends within his means, but also within his values, and he's very proud of that.
I probably spend less than 1% of what I make, and I don't really spend any money for any reason unless it's eating food, unless it's something that's like related to my job.
You know, do I love the greasy hair and the roaches everywhere? Probably not, but I'm not going to judge.
Sounds like the beginning of a pop song.
Yeah, you know,
I love his greasy hair,
and I know people get on him
everywhere. Talking about Asmongold.
Yo, let me write that shit down for my next track, okay?
I heard Taylor Swift.
But yeah, I've listened to quite a few videos of Asmon over the years, and I've liked a lot of the stuff that he said. So I don't like the idea that people think like just because I don't like someone in their current iteration that I've never liked them or I've never thought positive things.
Should raise taxes on people that make a lot of money. I think there should probably be 2 additional tax brackets. Like, you need to have a tax bracket for people that are making, let's say, over $5 million a year. Then you should probably have an additional tax bracket for people that are making over $30 million a year, right? And if you were able to do that, you would capture so much more revenue and you would be able to pay for more stuff. If you're making $20 million a year, you can afford to chip in a little bit extra, because the only reason why you don't need to have armed security all around your fucking house and people aren't coming into your house and killing you is because this isn't there's not a Ugandan warlord.
I thought I was going to say because you're not Somalian and ICE isn't in town, but this is close enough.
Who's showing up to try to kill you and take all your stuff is because you live in this country. And if you live in this country and this country allows you to protect and generate the wealth of $20, $30, $50 million a year, you're goddamn right. I think you got to chip in a little bit more.
You know, these are things I can easily agree with, right? Someone who makes, you know, a bit of chunk of change. And I mean, not $5 million a year, that's kind of, well, someday, inshallah. I'm not Muslim, but I'll just pretend for a few minutes.
Oh, hey, Sneeko.
I'm a defense nigga, you know what I mean? That's just him, all right?
I was way too quick on that shit.
Yeah, that was good.
You see what happened when I sleep too much? I'm on this shit.
God, all right, listen here, boy. There's a smooth
Address
criminal.
the white shit, boy.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I can share in terms of worldviews. But then I'll watch other videos of Asmongold, and they're like, to me, they're so far out there that I'm like, I want to believe he's joking. Yeah, right.
Cuba is a communist dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've preyed on their own people. Their days are numbered. We're going to wait.
Cuba's days are numbered. Colombia isn't going to be doing this anymore. Okay, yeah, I can see there's definitely a trend here. You specifically said you'd be against foreign intervention and nation building. Why have you switched positions? Well, I'm generally against it, but there are some instances where I'd be okay with it. It's pretty simple. Like, I think it's something that's generally a bad idea, but if we can get enough money out of the place that we're intervening in and we can effectively make it worthwhile for us, then I'd be okay with it. Does that make sense? So it's all about whether we're making money off of it. That's my primary function, is that I think about, is this good for Americans? But us just going over there and doing it for no reason? No, I don't think so. And even if it costs civilian lives? Yeah, who gives a shit? If the thing is that if you're going to do this stuff, people are going to get killed. That's what's going to happen. Anytime you have any military invasion, this is what's going to happen. Like, do you think that nobody else got killed at, like, invading Iraq? People didn't get killed invading Syria or Libya. People get killed constantly. That's what happens.
Essentially, the idea is that I'm for regime change or foreign intervention if it's going to make us money. People dying in the process is just part of it. It is what it is. And it's essentially like a different way to say might makes right. If you're strong and powerful enough, take from people and make money. And if it makes money, then and when I heard that, I had to like double take. 'Cause I'm like, there's a lot of things I thought about in that time. But this is the kind of thing that I'll hear from Asmongold on like a semi-regular basis that makes me double take. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have like that much in common with this dude. You know what I mean? Because on some extreme ends, which are really important ends, I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
But to say that no civilians should be killed, this is just a naive perspective. It's probably going to happen.
I agree. I can agree with that.
Like if you're debating a bear on whether it can attack you or not, and then the bear attacks you anyway, well, you're dead. So it doesn't really make a difference whether you have some sort of moral superiority or anything else. Nobody gives a shit about that. The fact is that what matters is that if you have the ability to execute something and the ability to do it and then get away with it, basically, that's it. Like, all that matters is if you're able to do it, then you're right. It's that simple.
Okay.
He's not wrong.
And I think in this instance, I think the bear is supposed to be the government or the U.S. government, their capability to do whatever they want. So I think that's the example he's using, but he's expounding to say, in life, if you got the power to do something and get away with it, that's all that matters. And you think he's right?
I think he's not trying to say what's good or what's bad. He's trying to explaining how it kind of works right now.
Yeah, but he's saying it doesn't matter.
It matters, but nothing is going to be done about that. And we've seen it. I don't know what the use of the UN is right now. I'm looking at things that are happening over the West Bank, things that are happening right now. Like, okay, what are they doing? Well, we're sanctioning it. And whenever I hear that in the news, I really see this. Mm-hmm. And then like kind of nothing fucking happens. What I'm understanding from what he's saying, he's depicting what's happening. Now, should it happen? I don't think it should, but it's still what's going on right now.
Right. So I understand what you're saying. And the reason why good and wrong or right and wrong matters is because you can see it from every government, anyone who's doing anything, be it Israel or even the U.S. government, is that they spend a lot of time doing press conferences. They talk to influencers. They try to get their version of the story out there. Why? Because they need to control or have their version of what's right be what people think. If right and wrong didn't matter, they would never justify anything. They would never give you a reason. They would just do shit. And the reason why it matters is because elections come up. People lose, people win based off of these things. If it doesn't matter, they would never say nothing. They would just take shit.
Sure.
They need a narrative. They need justification. And he is part of the narrative that this administration needs to be put out there for them to have the justification and the support to do what they want to do. There's a reason why, like, right after they do something, they do a press conference, they have their talking points, and all their talking heads disseminate that. Without those people, they don't get elected. The bear only exists because these people do their propaganda or do their storytelling. Whether it's Israel spends how much money trying to control narratives, to buy people, to get people lost in the public sphere by basically, like, let's say if you say something critical of them and they don't want you in, they will put money together to run somebody against you. Why are they doing that? Because right and wrong matters. This administration, more than anyone, is very affected by social media. What the people say pushes them to go someplace. I mean, they're in Minnesota right now because a YouTuber did a documentary on the fraud in Somalia of the Somali community in Minnesota. Because of that, they up in there and they go in full force to show
they're doing something about it.
So this idea that like right and wrong doesn't matter, that's why I don't understand this kind of thing of like, all that matters is your ability to enforce stuff. Well, they can only enforce it if they're in power. They're only in power because
There's no purpose to doing any of this because there's just not really, let me think a good way to say it. You're not accomplishing anything by making videos about different current events whenever the only people that will watch them are people that already agree with them, and you're not really reaching anybody. You're not putting any information out there. You're not changing anybody's opinion. You're not making anybody see a different point of view. It's just you're basically preaching to the choir over and over and over. It's a circle jerk, basically.
I'm not gonna lie, hearing him say that while he has a million Twitter tabs open is crazy. Hold on, go back. How many? That's where he gets like most of his news.
To myself, I was like, maybe I should just quit doing this because, I mean, like really, I mean, people have totally lost reality. They're totally in another world. Everybody is retarded now. And not only are they retarded, but they're intentionally retarded. And so I did think about cutting it down a lot because it's just like, what's the point doing it when everybody lies? You're talking to a wall. You're going to tell somebody that 2 + 2 is 4. They're going to say, no, it's 7.
Why is he talking about himself like that? That's crazy.
Well,
everybody, he
feels like he's talking about others. Others feel like he's talking about himself. And that's just kind of the the echo chamber.
Yes.
I think he's reflecting.
Someone called him Asgold. Asmold.
Ass of gold.
Why you talk about Asmongold? You talk about the man Asgold? Burn it!
They're not going to engage in good faith. Yeah, I don't know. But I have thought about that. I'll make a decision about that over this year, right? If it's like worth doing or not.
Ain't no way he's quitting. Dude's raking in millions, so I know his ass gonna stay on this topic because it's been incredibly profitable. No, it's not saying can't do other stuff, but do I think he's gonna quit? Hell no. I think there's too much money in that shit. That's what I personally think. But
So maybe that's his way of asking for a raise. I'm quitting, you guys. I'm quitting. Somebody send me a check.
That $1 million a month.
What?
That's enough. He's making like you're talking like millions a month from Twitch, Kick, and like the YouTube releases. Like it's a big system.
Yeah.
All right. So never downplay that. The idea that he's going to walk away from his biggest bag to talk about this stuff, I'm sure he can do cultural commentary to a degree. But do I think he's going to walk away from? I'd be shocked. The same logic of like if it's profitable, then as a value that you want your government to espouse when they're engaging in foreign policy. Isn't that the same value that all criminals in your own country use when they want to gain money for themselves? I'll break it into this house and maybe kill this old bitch because I can make money. Isn't that the same kind of mentality that CEOs have when they fuck over local populace in order to enrich themselves? I can get away with whatever the fuck I want, so I'm going to use my employees. I will steal whatever I'll do, Ponzi scheme, and if I can get pardoned, then fuck you. And it's okay because he's making profit. It is what it is. Might makes right. You justify slavery, technically. And you make enough money. Fuck them. They can't advocate for themselves. If we can profit, why not? I, for a long time, was, you think of like Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Rogan, all these different personalities. I remember watching a lot of the content, and a lot of the messaging was always like, no more foreign intervention, no more wars. And like, after you see Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of different issues, and you see government corruption at different levels. I think it's very easy to get bought into that kind of mindset and to believe in that messaging. And I really did. And, only to come to find out that the people who were supposed to carry on that message, Trump himself said no more foreign intervention. Now it's no foreign intervention, but in our hemisphere, it's acceptable. And now he's talking about bombing Iran again to get that government. I don't know what the fuck the messaging doesn't even exist. None of it's consistent. But I used to think that kind of messaging was very attractive. I could understand how a lot of people bought into this stuff. We would send our friends, neighbors, whatever it is, to go overseas to fight in like battles that we didn't really want. Like that's something I also. But now I'm hearing him say like, if it makes us enough money, I think that's what I hate the most about like the world that we live in, just macroing out of just Asmongold, but just talking in general. It's like everything is just about money. Jake Paul does this fight with the other dude, no matter how goofy and fucking retarded he's been his whole career, he made $100 million. So he got his bag. And it's just like, is that all you people think about when you guys think about the value that people bring to folks? Is just like how much money did they get for the action that they did? And it's like, all right, well then OnlyFans models were the fucking best. Because like they make all the bread in the world, and apparently just selling pussy is like so much admirable because they get profit from it. But we don't think that, right?
We don't?
I don't think that this idea of like, no, actually, fuck that. I do think it's stupid. I do think it's stupid to sit there and think that profit should be the only merit by which you judge your government's foreign intervention. Is that all you guys want your government to care about? Money? You guys don't want them to have any value? So like, whenever they're choosing any policy, it's just about how much money can it make? So forget the moral aspect of and all the questions involved about civil rights. Fuck that. It's just what's more profitable? Environment? Fuck the environment. We can make money by it up. Let's fuck it up. Millions of people die. Less people, we make more money. Fuck it. If profit's going to be the only standard that you're going to have for whether or not people get to live or die, I don't know. That's not a society I want to share in. That's not somebody who I want to share values with, personally. And I do think that's a pretty disgusting thing to really believe and to espouse so casually. And I think it's very convenient to do when the lives that are going to be lost are not going to be yours. Not in the war, because you're not fighting. Got to get ungreased. So when people ask me, but why are you not rocking with Asmongold or whatever? It's like, it's stuff like this that I'm like, nah, I can't.
I think it's people think that because the government's going to make money, they're going to make money. Since the government is working for us, right? And that's not how things work, all right? It's just going to be more money. Not for you. It's just going to be more money in general. They make so much money over there, and then we got the oil. You're not going to feel none of that.
Yeah.